Awesome. So I think we are ready to get started. Hello and welcome to, whoops, no, I just moved my screen, sorry. Hello and welcome to NACHW's membership webinar. We are so excited to be joined by CHWs and allies across the country as over 250 individuals have registered for this occasion to learn about and find ways to get involved with NACHW. Thank you for the engagement today. My name is Allison Jocelyn. I'm stepping in today along with Angie on behalf of Aurora Grant Wingate, our esteemed member and partner engagement manager at NACHW. And before we dive in, let's give a hand to and hello to Aurora as she sends her best regards to each and every one of you. Hi, Aurora.
Hi, Aurora. Aurora, thank you.
And now that we've given a shout out to Aurora, please do share your name, where you're located, and maybe even something that lifts up your spirit. We can all use a little share and reminders every once in a while, right? Often these gatherings are led by Aurora and also Denise Octavia Smith, NACHW's inaugural executive director, and she also sends her best and leads as she leads alongside many of you today. So thank you again for showing up. Our webinar today is called How to Get Involved with NACHW. And what better way to learn about NACHW than by our vision, community health workers united nationally to support communities in achieving health, equity, and social justice. As a brief overview today, you will hear much about NACHW, National Association of Community Health Workers, as a whole and in programming. Many of my colleagues are here today to share their expertise and about what's going on nationally. I'm joined by Peter Salale, Carla Whatcott, Michael Matthias, Angie Kuzma, and Catherine Martinez, and also Wendy Bailey. Thank you, Wendy. We will each have about 5 to 10 minutes to talk today, and we do want to get into some breakout sessions at the end for more discussions. As a quick checkpoint for all of us on this webinar, there are a few items to highlight. First, we are recording this webinar. We'd like you to use the function for the Q&A or use the chat for any questions that you might have. Please do keep your speaker on mute if you are not speaking. If you'd like to speak, do use the raised hand feature. Slides and recording will be shared out after the webinar, and I believe Spanish translation is being provided. And we are also, this meeting is also being transcribed. Okay. So, about NACHW. The National Association of Community Health Workers was founded in April 2019, and we just celebrated our 5-year anniversary. We have a wonderful recording on YouTube to learn about NACHW's history and the enduring commitment of our founding board members to establish this organization. We are led by our shared and nationally confirmed values of CHW's self-determination, self-empowerment, social justice and equity, dignity and respect, unity, and integrity. And we do our work by amplifying the unique identities, qualities, competencies, expertise, and voices of CHWs. We articulate the past, present, and future impact of CHWs on health, well-being, and social justice. We ally with individuals and organizations who share our values and support our strategic priorities. We advance innovations in CHW research, workforce development, integration, and career pathways. We advocate for sustainable and equitable policies and funding for authentic CHWs and their networks. And we advocate CHW leadership, capacity, and vision. All right. So everyone, Our membership is growing. We have had long been grateful for national membership from all 50 states. And we are also grateful for our members that have joined from Puerto Rico, Guam, and US Virgin Islands. And we've provided the top 10 states with the most membership on this slide. Our members of community health workers, including promotores and community health representatives, are working across sector, ethnicity, and geography to address direct service needs of special populations, as well as the upstream social determinants of health. And NACHW continues to learn about our membership or its members using member data to better understand and serve the workforce. This data helps us tailor monthly webinars, identify relevant opportunities, and remain at the forefront of issues that pertain to community health workers. And thank you, Texas, for leading the way of our membership. So we wanted to share with you some of the highlighted benefits of becoming a member. As a CHW and ally individual member, you can join board committees, read and share our NACHW's members-only newsletter, including curated funding announcements. You can join our members-only webinars and resources. As a member, you can receive certificates of attendance for select webinars, discounts to the Unity Conference, and of course, apply to be a NACHW ambassador. And today we'll talk through a little bit about NACHW Ambassador Program. We'll submit, you have the opportunity to submit events and stories to our newsletter. And there is a dedicated space in MemberClicks to store continuing education credits. And there's really so much more that goes into as a membership. CHW individual membership is $20 a year, and ally individual membership is $50 a year. Please do visit our webpage for more information and to download more resources. And as a CHW network or ally organizational membership, you can have access to all individual member benefits, as I just described. You can also request letters of support from NACHW when applying for funding. In your organization, you can have up to 10 additional logins to access all our membership benefits. And this is just in as a new opportunity for organizational memberships is to attend biannual town halls or events for ally organizational members. So we wanted to also share with you some definitions of what or whom might be applied for CHW network organizational members. We define CHW network organizational members by NACHW as an organization led by or co-led by community health workers, including promotores, CHRs, and other titles, identities within our profession whose mission and activities focus on CHW membership, networking, policy, advocacy, and workforce development. And ally organization members are defined as all other organization types who want to support and uplift CHWs. These could be employers, researchers, public health departments, and so on and so forth. And again, please visit our website for more information. So now I'll turn it back to Peter to share a little bit about MemberClicks and new features. Take it away, Peter.
Thanks, Allison. Hi, everyone. I'm Peter Salali. I do a lot of tech stuff for NACHW, and we've got a lot of fun tech updates for you today. And they revolve around our MemberClicks platform. So for anyone who's a member, you've probably logged into MemberClicks several times at some point. Even the newer ones, everyone's experienced with it at some point, but we've only been using it for about a year now, and we're in the process of rolling out some exciting features, and I'm excited to talk about two of those features today. That would be the member directory, which will allow you to find members and connect with them based on location or specialization, and as well as the continuing education tracker that Allison also mentioned. This will allow you to have a private to you record of any and all continuing education transcripts you wish to upload to your CHW account or Ally account, as it were. And you can attach certificates to go along with it and export reports into a transcript to provide to others. It's a couple of great new features, and I'd love to do a quick walkthrough of it for you. So 1 second, let me just share my screen. Okay, here we are on the MemberClicks homepage. I'm going to log in to my account. And when you log in now, you'll see 2 new options at the top navigation menu. That would be the aforementioned member directory and the continuing education tracking feature. We'll check out the member directory first. So the member directory allows you to search by state and specialization, or you could do one or the other as well. For these purposes, let's do state, and we'll look up mine. Oh, 1 second. Small technical glitch. There we go. It's back now. Okay. So I'm in Massachusetts, located in the Boston area. So we'll search that. And there I am. And the reason you only see me here is because I have specifically chosen to opt in to the directory. We don't want people to feel like their personal information is out of their control. So the directory is opt-in. You must first opt into it, and I'll show you how to do that in a bit. But this will show you, the search will show you anyone who has opted in. And if you click on my account, you'll see here a select amount of information on me. Oh, excuse me. Normally, you'd see a small amount of information, including the member type, the user, the email, contact, as well as city and state. But since I'm logged in, it shows me everything. Apologies. And in addition to that, it will also give you a hyperlink email to connect with the individual in question if you would like to get together and discuss your work or reach out about resources, events, anything. And I can also show you how to edit your profile to opt in or opt out of the member directory. That's pretty simple. Just on the member home, when you log in, you can go to my profile, and this will take you to the edit profile page, which you can click on by going right here. And this will, scrolling down a bit after the other entries, you can find this attribute at the top, this question: do you want your profile displayed in the members directory? And it also lists what we include and what we don't include. It's just the name, the org, if you list any, city and state, your preferred email, your work area, as in your work type, and specialization, and a bio if you have one. And you can either opt in or opt out. And this is an exciting new feature we've been hoping to roll out very soon. And this works for all member types, whether you're a CHW individual member or an Ally individual member or an organizational member of some kind. The directory will be open to all of you. And yeah, it's a very exciting feature, and we're happy to be rolling it out. And we'll be it will be going live. It's live now. We'll be rolling out some instructions and more information on the rollout, like in the next day or so. So any further questions, you can consult that or reach out to us at the info@NACHW email. And in addition to the member directory, we also have the continuing education feature being rolled out. This is pretty handy. This will, as mentioned, allow you to have a transcript or a record of any and all continuing education or classes that you wish to attach to your profile. As you can see here, I've added one, just a little generic one here that says "Hello World," and I can edit it and choose location, instructor, expiration date, if applicable, when it was held, and the categories are set up with the C3 core competencies for CHWs. So all of those categories are represented here. And you can also add a description. And it's a very handy system, and you can add a bunch of them. And in addition to that, you can also, after you add a credit right here, you can also go in and not just edit it, but also upload a certificate to a company, the credit in question, for further information, further clarification. And of course, you can also export the list of your credits here. And you can also, when you export, you can also change the filters. So if you want to just export something in, say, the communication skills category, and you press export, you will be able to have a transcript that only shows communication skills credits. And it's a exciting new system, and we're excited to be rolling this out for you folks. And we're constantly working to improve the MemberClicks platform, and these are two big ones and two big features that we've been wanting to roll out for some time and that people have been asking about. And we're excited to debut the member directory and the continuing education tracker. And again, if there's any questions, don't worry. We'll be rolling out some social media and email blasts the next day or so, as well as an article containing information on these new changes, and any instructions and frequent issues will be addressed in there as well. But thank you all for your time. I hope you're happy about these new features and excited, and I'll pass it back to you, Allison.
Thank you so much, Peter. It's always great to learn about the updates for MemberClicks, and I definitely see a lot of the chat saying with folks saying how much they love these new features. So thanks, Peter, for sharing. I'll now turn it over to Carla Wadcutt to share about the CHW newsletter.
So let me share my screen real quick. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So if you've seen our newsletter recently, you know that we've been asking for CHW stories or like a testimony. What we're doing this year is basically picking a theme for each month to celebrate. And the one that we did, let me just show you an example of the one here in May. So May is Mental Health Awareness Month. So basically what we do is feature a story for CHWs. This month was Michaela, and just talking about mental health awareness, like your personal experience, your testimony. And then if you want to submit your own story or your own testimony, you'll see the theme for the next month. And then there's a link here that will take you to the submission form. And you can find this in the general newsletter and also like the members only newsletter as well. Next month is Pride Month, and let me show you what it looks like from the back end. So this is the homepage review of your MemberClicks, and then there's a section here that's called newsletter at the top. And if you go there, this is basically what it looks like. If you scroll down a little bit, this is where you can access that same form. That's directly on the email. So if you click here, it'll take you to this page. If you're not logged into MemberClick, it's gonna ask you to log in, and once you're done logging in, it's gonna bring you to this page. It's basically like I said, we are using the stories to give it a more personal touch to the members newsletters and the general newsletter. We're looking for stories and testimonies. In this case, I'm just gonna go back to like the example for the mental health awareness month. It's just your testimony, things that have helped you. How is your story as a CHW? Or like if you know of any features or resources or documents that other CHWs could use to like create awareness or learn more about the topic. I think that's one of the things that we're also pushing for. So this is what the form will look like. Again, you'll be reminded of the deadline for the submission for this month. It's like May 31st. And then the topic for the newsletter is right here. And it will say the month, every month it changes. So it'll say like June or July's theme, and the theme will change, just so you're aware, and you can have that like available. Usually it fills out like your name already. You pick like CHW or allied, your submission type, either one you want to do, like your story or testimony. If you just want to share a quote related to the theme, or an event, maybe you're hosting a webinar that like can help CHWs learn more about that topic. Or resources, like a link to like a PDF that shows you or like tells you more about that specific topic. And then here you can like fill out the information about all those things, like the event, your story. There is a limit of words, just for our newsletter to be shorter, just to make sure that we're like capping that. But so it will not let you submit the form if you go over that limit of words, just letting you know. You can link the event here, and I love putting pictures, because I think it just makes it better when you know, like, you have the face of the person that submitted the story or the resources, or even the logo of the person that's sharing the webinar. Maybe there's an organization that's submitted the webinar or hosting the webinar, sorry. And you just want to share the logo for them, and then I'll use that in the newsletter and then share it with everyone. If you don't see if you submit one and you don't see your submission on the general newsletter, you'll see it in the members only. We're choosing to feature those stories, like maybe 2 or 3 in one, and then 2 or 3 in the other one, and then the resources depending on when those, like the deadline for those are. For example, sometimes you have webinars that are going to be like mid-May or like mid-June, then obviously those are going to go on the first newsletter, just to make sure that people are aware of it. And if the webinar is more like towards the end of the month, then it's probably going to go in the second newsletter that we send. So this is something that we're trying to do to make sure that our CHWs and our members have an opportunity to share their story, an opportunity to share, like, to be more personal, and also like get to know our members better. I will say that this is something that, if you're trying to advertise something very specific, or if you're trying to get funding for a specific thing, that's not something we're going to be sharing on the newsletter. So if you want to contact either Aurora or me directly for something specific like that, we can probably talk about it. But this specific form is just to talk more about like the theme of the month. And I usually share both themes that are coming up, like in June and then July, so you can be thinking about some of the things that you can share if you have experience with that. We did February, and February was like Black History Month. So we had like Denise and like Bernadine share their story as well, because it was a new feature back then. But I hope this makes sense for like the kind of submission that we're looking for. And if you have trouble with this newsletter, this is definitely something a members only benefit. So you need to have a MemberClicks account to submit this, which means like you need to be a member of NACHW to do that. So this is the only way you can access the form. It's one of like the benefits that we like to share with our members, and also like feature them. It's, like I said, helps us just recognize our members and get to know them better. And if you have any questions, I'm gonna put my email on the chat and you can let me know. The best way to submit your story is here, and there's no limit of how many you can submit or how many resources, because sometimes I know people say, oh, I want to submit my story, but I also have resources. You can submit them all at once, or you can say like, oh, I forgot to add this webinar. You can definitely add it as well later and then submit just a different form. But like I said, advertising and like things that are more like looking for funding, that's something that we need to look into with Aurora. And then if you have more questions about it, then you can also ask me. But I'll put my email in the chat if you have any questions about the specifics. And yeah, I'll pass it back to Allison.
Thank you so much, Carla. I also dropped in the chat the direct link to MemberClicks and logging in. So please do explore. Thank you, Carla, for sharing that we can connect with you also on ways to share stories directly and also how to add them. Appreciate those tutorials. So I'll continue sharing my screen. Hopefully I can do this. Sorry. Share with you a couple additional features or opportunities to connect and to get involved with NACHW, which is additional stories that you or stories, publications, articles, research, knowledge, publications that have already been shared out broadly. We'd love for you to share op-eds, blogs, research, again, other publications, as we really aim to amplify CHW voices. We're calling this Spark, CHW Spark, which is, as I mentioned right before, CHW-led stories, publications, articles, research, and knowledge. So if you have an article, we have a link for you to drop directly those sharings with members. Happy to answer any questions. And by the way, we also have a Q&A in the middle of this session. So we're looking for publications shared in the last 6 months as we continue to amplify CHW voices together. And I'd also like to share a couple opportunities. Let me just say that the top screen should be saying 2 opportunities for CHW surveys. So on the left side of the screen is the CHW Network Survey. Released a CHW Network Survey for CHW leaders, executive directors, board members to complete on behalf of CHW networks. And if you'd like to be part of the national conversation, it's really important to engage in this network survey so that we can continue to amplify, work together, and be reciprocal connections to each other. So in our breakout session, happy to explore with CHW leaders this option for collaborating and connecting and working together. And also thank you so much for those that have completed the survey already. And really excited to share with you some of the findings. Also wanted to share that the survey is opened up for ally membership, allies as well, and more findings from the survey will be released later on this year. And then to the right of the screen is and the newest opportunity, which is an up and coming, is a survey specified for CHW workplace and community harassment, violence, and prevention. And if you all have about 10 minutes today, it would be wonderful for everyone to take a moment to as we shared in our newsletter, our work in service to CHW workforce. And in the realm of racial justice, health equity, we increase our attention on workforce and workplace safety. This voices of CHWs is central in our approach, as we mentioned earlier, and ongoing. And we want to share and hear from you. So we invite you to respond to the survey so that we can better understand community health workers' interest and need for workplace rights and benefits to prevent and respond to gender-based violence in the workplace and in community. And your answers will help us provide better support and opportunities with CHWs in these areas. This is a 9-question survey. No identifying information is collected, and all responses will be totaled. Please provide your answers if you have the time. Today, again, it's 10 minutes by or until, as the survey will be open until May 17th this year. And so I will now turn it over to or move forward and turn back the slides to my colleague, Michael Matthias. And I think I will try to be able to share the screen again. I think I was in just the wrong space. Thank you, Michael. Go ahead.
No worries, no worries. Hi, everyone. My name is Michael Matthias. While Allison's getting the slides back up, I'll just introduce myself. I am a CHW ally. I have come to work at NACHW back in February of this year. I'm a technology project manager. And what we're going to talk about today is the project that I've been working on, and it is called NACHW Connector. And what I'm hoping, oh, good, I'm getting slides. So CHW Connector is something that NACHW has been working on for about 2 years, getting feedback from the CHW community, working to figure out what the needs really are, and find a way to put out a platform to the CHW community that's going to help to communicate about the topics that are important to you as CHWs, share those resources, find trusted public health alerts, and learn more about CHW organizations. I saw in the chat earlier today someone saying, oh, you know, put your email address so that we can network. My goal is that you will not have to do that anymore. We will have this as that option for you. And if you want to switch to the next slide, Allison, thank you. So this is something that we are actively building. Like there's literally a team of web developers working right now towards getting this out and launched to the community this summer. And essentially what our features are going to be is we're going to have a variety of community pages where CHWs can log on to our connector platform, work and talk about the areas that are of great interest to them. We're going to start out with a fairly small number of community pages, I think something around 25, but we're going to have the option if you want a specific one to request it, and we'll have it built up for you. Similarly, we're going to have groups that are directed just for CHW networks, so that way they can have a home for their word, their voice into the CHW community as well. That way they can share their message and bring it out to the CHW community. One of the most important things is going to be these mobilization and alerts. We're taking a variety of trusted source material from the CDC and other locations like that to help define and put out public health alerts to the CHW community. So that way you can know about things and have trusted sources of information about things like when there happens to be a COVID pandemic that pops up, and anything else, be it a hurricane or what have you. So we're going to try and make that into a place where you can just be able to receive that information. We're going to have a direct messaging option, so that way as you go around and see what's in the different communities and pages, if you see somebody who has an interest directly related to you, you can go and talk to them one-on-one, build connections in your local areas or even across the country, find out more about resources, and really kind of take those communications to that next level. And then nobody likes it but me, but there's going to be all kinds of good back-end functions for user accounts, group alerts, safety, and security and moderation. So we're looking to build this so that it's going to be available for all CHWs, regardless of whether you're a NACHW member. But we want this to be able to go out and be that place for CHWs, that online community for CHWs. We'll flip me to the next slide. So lastly, I would just say, keep a lookout in the next couple of weeks and months. We're going to start rolling this out. The goal is we're going to have a web-based platform that it's going to start at. And then later in the summer, we're also going to have a full-on mobile app as well. So keep an eye and an ear out. You'll be hearing more about this as the summer comes through. So thank you all so much. And that is all I've got to say.
Thank you so much, Michael. We are so excited to for this app. It's wonderful to hear the app today, CHW Connector today, and platform. Excuse me, platform. And for any questions, please join the group. The breakout session with Michael later on in this gathering. So now I'll turn it over to Angie, and I believe Catherine is on the call. So Angie and Catherine, please take it away for the advocacy and policy aspects of NACHW.
All right. Hi, everybody. I'm Angie Kuzma. I'm a community health worker in Portland, Oregon, and the policy and advocacy manager here. And then Catherine Martinez is here as well.
Hi, everybody. Catherine Martinez. I'm the Strategic Initiatives Manager here at NACHW, working alongside Angie in Policy and Advocacy.
Yeah, Catherine and I are the Policy and Advocacy and Strategic Initiatives team here, but here's just a summary slide of some ways that you can get involved in policy and advocacy activities through NACHW. We have some annual events like our visit to Capitol Hill that happens in person in DC. And in the summer, we usually have something having to do with policy and advocacy for our Unity conference. More on that in a little bit. And in the fall, we do National CHW Awareness Week. And other events that we have sort of ongoing or semi-annually are our bi-weekly National CHW Policy Working Group calls. And we're going to be forming an advisory committee for that. And then we also have several policy call webinars. So that's like a big overview, and we'll get into just, we'll describe some of these more in detail in just a sec here. Next slide, please. You already met us, so we can go to the next slide. Thanks. All right, so I mentioned the National CHW Policy Working Group bi-weekly meetings. We started doing these back in February through our partnership with an organization called Partners in Health US, who has really increased our capacity as an organization to engage in policy and advocacy. So one of the major things we've been partnering with them on is this bi-weekly meeting where essentially anyone who's working on CHW policy is invited to attend and to share your updates about what you are working on. It's not a coalition or a place where we're all deciding on what should be included in policy or like to show our support for any particular policy, but more of just like a place where folks can exchange information. And, you know, we started this as we wanted to focus on national policy, but we know there's so many lessons learned from other types of policy, you know, especially state level and even organizational policy. So any CHW is more than welcome, and we really hope that you will join. And if you're an organization or an ally organization, please, you know, be just aware that we're wanting to keep this a mainly CHW run space, and that's why we're going to be recruiting for an advisory committee. You're of course welcome as an ally, and we hope that you will come to share updates on what your organization is working on too. But we can go to the next slide. Just briefly, the advisory committee that we have not yet started recruiting for, but will be soon, is going to be at least 50% self-identified community health workers. This is going to be a small group initially, but we really want to the best of our ability, we want this group to really reflect the diversity of the CHW workforce in terms of race, ethnicity, geography, lived experience, employment sector, identity, and levels of, or like how much experience you have in leadership or CHW advocacy. So stay tuned and look in your newsletter for an announcement about the application process. Next slide. All right, I'll pass it over to Catherine.
Well, I think I recognize some names here of folks that joined us this year for the second annual Congressional Briefing and Capitol Hill visit in March. As a lot of you guys know, there was a huge momentum leading us into that event, especially because on March 7th, we were able to get the CHW Access Act introduced, which we've been working on for quite some time. So we really went pumped into the Capitol Hill visits. We had such a good turnout with about 78 CHWs and ally NACHW members attending. We had about 117 meetings. All meetings were attended 100%, which we were super excited about. Folks got an opportunity to meet with about 30 state legislative offices, 57 unique House districts, and 60 unique Senate districts. So we really, it was a busy day, a lot of walking, but a very powerful day. We're very visible, and out of these meetings, we're very productive. And we want to see more of that. We want to continue to support our CHWs that are really either very seasoned in their advocacy and in their policy understandings, but also that are looking to kind of grow in their leadership and really step into this space and grow that CHW voice. So we felt that we were able to accomplish that with the Hill visit, and we look forward to having that also be available next year. And with some great feedback we received, one of the biggest feedback was that we wish we started planning this earlier, so more organizations had some time to really buffer some resources so we can have more participation from CHWs next year. So I'm happy to announce that we will be making that announcement soon when we will have the dates set for 2024 for our third annual visit. So keep the excitement going, keep all the hard advocacy work that's happening on a state level and start getting ready because we're going to be back in the Hill next year. Next slide. And apart from folks meeting with their congressional leaders, we were able to also host a congressional briefing at the Capitol, which was really great, especially for a lot of staffers that just weren't able to have those one-on-one conversations with us. But they also were able to enjoy an overview of what this advocacy and policy history has been with CHWs and really understand who we are as a workforce, a profession, our diversity, the uniqueness. It was a great opportunity for that deeper dive. We've been talking internally about how to bring maybe that same type of platform to a virtual space where we can have more folks participate in that type of discussion and conversation. So there'll be more to come. But just want to really give a shout out to the speakers who were on the panel, Honey Estrada, Shannon E. Jackson from Virginia, Iris Riano from Pueblo, New Mexico, and moderated by our partners from Partners in Health, Katie Bolback. So we're really excited about the continued expansion of the partnerships, how folks are really leaning into their CHW voice, and we really look forward to seeing more participation on and to grow our network of CHW leaders in policy and advocacy. Next slide. And then this is the part where I get all colorful and decorated and I get very excited, which is National CHW Awareness Week. Last year, we were able to launch our first campaign in regards to CHW Awareness Week, and we had an incredible response. We had incredible participation. Even on a global level, we were able to really kind of raise awareness of the work that's happening here in the United States with our global partners. And what's most important about this week, it's all about you. It's all about the community health workers. It's all about celebrating all of the great achievements that you've been able to accomplish. It's about really talking about how far we've come and also continuing to find ways to collaborate. So really thinking about collaborating with folks in your region, on nationally, and it's a great opportunity to continue to strengthen our network. So this year we plan to launch our second annual National CHW Awareness Week during the last week of August. And I'm going to be engaging with folks. We're going to be having a kickoff meeting. We'll be providing a toolkit that will help folks gear up as they're looking to engage with their congressional leaders during this time, and really make sure that we're having a celebration all week long on the celebration of community health workers. So there will be more opportunity to engage, more opportunity to collaborate, and more opportunity to get connected to policy and advocacy. So really looking forward. Please make sure that as you're getting the updates or you're signing up for the listservs, we want to make sure that folks have the support that they need to feel like they can do something at a local level around CHW Awareness Week. And yeah, so that's it for us. Again, please make sure you guys are on the listers. Make sure you're reaching out to Angie and I with your policy and advocacy. We love to hear what's happening. We love to lean in and engage, and we'll be more than happy to connect with you guys as well. So thank you. I'll pass it back to Allison.
Thank you, Catherine. Thank you, Angie. Always great to hear updates and, of course, ways to get involved with policy and advocacy. And just really excited for the continuing of 2024. Already amazing work so far. So now I want to give a shout out to a couple of people that have joined from NACHW. I want to say hello to Michaela Trujillo and Marlene Rivera, and also share that Michaela supports the ambassadors program, as Marlene does also with the committee and board. I just want to give a shout out. Thank you for joining. If there's any board members too, I just want to give a shout out and thank you for your leadership, and also committee members. Thank you for your leadership as well. And want to really thank Wendy Bailey for joining us today, and to share with us about the ambassadors program as a NACHW ambassador. So please take it away, Wendy. Thank you. Wendy, if you're speaking, you might be muted.
Hey, Allison, this is Michaela here.
Hi.
It looked like Wendy is with us in the webinar anymore.
Oh, okay. Wendy is no longer with us. Michaela, would you like to share a bit about the ambassadors program?
I'd be happy to. Thank you.
Yeah, awesome.
So welcome everyone to how to get involved more with NACHW. I have a feeling that some of our future ambassadors are here today on the call, and we do have some of our current ambassadors. So I'm actually going to pass it to Swanette, and then I will take over any questions that anybody may have. Swanette, come on, girl.
Yeah, so I apologize, I'm off camera. I'm just traveling here, but I am the ambassador from Rhode Island. So things about the ambassador. So one thing, I personally love being an ambassador. It has like catapulted me in leadership opportunities and just opened up so many doors for me here in Rhode Island and also on a national level. So it just, that's just a start, just being recognized in Rhode Island for your work and being the ambassador where other CHWs across the state are kind of reaching out and, asking for guidance on how to be leaders in the community, which I think is just a beautiful thing. With the ambassadorship, it's a 2-year commitment, and essentially we participate at the Unity Conference, we go to Capitol Hill, we meet once a month for the general other individual committees that you can be part of as well. Like, for example, I'm part of the Ambassador Recruitment Committee, so we meet separately 1 month a week, 1 hour a month. And so, the time commitments aren't as strenuous as you would think. It's something that I personally, when I first started, I was really worried about, oh my God, am I gonna have time to really dedicate to this? And I find it really beautiful that I am really able to incorporate it into what I do for work, apply it to my work, and then also just meet with other national change agent leaders. So if you guys have any questions about it, let me know. I'm happy to help out along with Wendy and others. I think she lost connection, to be honest, so I apologize on her behalf. But just reach out to any of the ambassadors that you can see on the website, and we're all of us are more than able to support you guys. Deadline's on the 15th, so please get those recommendation letters, those videos going. Don't feel any pressure with the videos. Just be you. Be like how you are with those people that you engage in the community. That's what we all want to see, and that's how we got in. Be you, because you are perfect as you are, as Michaela has reminded many of us many times. And show up as yourself, and that's gonna, if we don't select you now, it's not because of anything else besides of, maybe we already have an ambassador in your state and things like that. I would so encourage to keep trying the following year if you don't get selected this year as well.
Thanks, Juanette. And it's so beautiful to hear how much you've grown being in the ambassador committee. I will also share a couple things. Responsibilities of ambassadors are to show up as public representatives of NACHW in their local communities at events, and also to help us with funding. So to gather funding for those events that Juanette mentioned, the Capitol Hill Day, things like that, for our Unity Conference, and really to be the public representative for NACHW in our communities. I have dropped the application. It is available in Spanish as well. The deadline is May 15th, and like Juanette said, we are only looking for ambassadors in the states that we do not currently have, but that does not mean that we will not choose you when that person's time is up and we are on to the next round of ambassadors.
Thank you, Michaela. Thank you, Swanette. And thank you, Wendy. Wendy, I know you were with us as you were in the chat, responding, making comments, connecting. So thank you so much for your leadership as an ambassador. And without further ado, oh, and please do connect with the breakout session when we go to breakouts with Michaela and Swanette. If you have if you can, when we move to that portion of the event. And so without further ado, we want to, if you have not already heard, we want to share with you once again that the 2024 Annual Meeting and Unity Conference will be held this year on August 21st and August 22nd for our members, and Unity Conference for everyone. So annual business meeting will be on August 21st and a Unity Conference on August 22nd virtually. So these events will be happening virtually this year. So please save the date. And you can participate by becoming a NACHW member, as we've shared the links earlier, and both days are free, are at no cost. And please do register for our one-day Unity Conference at www.nachwunity.org. And we welcome your sponsorship as a Unity sponsor for free, no cost registration. So we're thrilled and excited to host this year's NACHW's Unity Conference, excuse me. And now we will open up for questions. We have about 5 minutes for questions. And then we break out into discussions and groups. So please feel free to raise your hand or come off mute. I see Omar Molina. Please come forward.
Hi, good afternoon. This is more about a lot of people is asking about what is the difference between being a member and ambassador, or and something like that. And sometimes it's kind of very difficult to understand the role as an ambassador, or a chair position or something like that. Would you mind elaborate kind of that statement?
Yes, I can elaborate a little bit, but I'd also like to see if Marlene or Michaela would like to share before I jump in.
Sure, I can kind of go in. So I would say, like, in your steps to NACHW, membership is your first step, right? And then you find more ways to get involved. You want to come to more webinars. This is like your second step right here at this webinar, right? And then you move into next, maybe you or host your own webinar with us. Maybe you find a way to connect with Aurora for any kind of other speaking engagements. But if you are willing to be a servant for NACHW, if you're willing to take the time to help us support CHW's goals nationally, as a position on a board or an ambassador, that might suit you well. And if you're looking to also just learn and grow from other people in national leadership, I don't think I can really explain in any amount of time how much education and knowledge, wisdom that has been shared with me just by being in community with these folks. So Omar, I hope that answers your question. If you need to talk more, we can chat offline. You got my email, okay?
Wonderful, Michaela. I couldn't have said it better. Any other questions? Okay, hearing none, we will now connect. I know that there were questions in the chat earlier. Yes, you will receive slides. I can't remember the other questions. I know that was a big one. Definitely a lot of excitement on some of our new announcements, NACHW's new announcements. We will have surveys in Spanish. Thank you, Michaela and Angie, for responding in the chat. And so thank you for your questions. And we can now move to something very new, which is our breakout sessions, or breakout rooms, excuse me. So we have 6 breakout rooms or room options. Please select when we open up the room options, you can self-select into the breakout rooms that you would like to join with a NACHW staff member or team member to answer, where a NACHW team member will answer questions or lead a discussion around the topic. And every room will have a quick icebreaker about what are the ways that you've been involved or maybe want to be involved in NACHW. By perhaps selecting the room, that will be an indication that you want to be involved. You also have the option to move around and navigate to different rooms after some time. So some of the room options, or the room options that we have available, are around MemberClicks, ambassadors, policy and advocacy, research and evaluation, CHW Connector app, and Unity Conference. I think Unity Conference. So we will now open up the breakout rooms. And please go ahead to the rooms. So I've now opened the rooms. And we invite you to self-select. Hi, welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Thank you so much. I think people are joining about still within the 1 minute time frame. And I know many folks had to drop off on the hour on the dot. So it was really great to see everyone in the breakout session as you were able. We have about 5 minutes or 4 minutes left. Just wanted to share quickly a couple other updates and how to stay in touch and partner with NACHW. So please do connect with us on our newsletter. As we shared earlier, please follow us at CHW National on Facebook, Instagram, X/Twitter, on LinkedIn. Please connect with us. If you don't have an account, create an account. We want to always be connected. And do partner with us to speak or invite, excuse me, for NACHW to speak at an event. We partner with CHW allies, CHWs or ally organizations, and we partner through sponsorships or that are connected to our strategic objectives, and also connected to Unity Conference. We also partner with individual organizations, individuals across the country, at the local, state, and national and federal level, on policy review, and much more. We look forward to partnering with you, with organizations specifically that align with our mission, that align with our vision, our values, NACHW's values and capacity, as we are a young organization and growing, and a mighty team, young, growing, mighty team, I would say. And we're mighty because of all members across the nation. And so thank you again. We have a couple additional resources. If you'd like, we have a CHW free diabetes training. And also you can connect with us on our document resource center on our website for a database that is connected directly with documents, reports, policy studies, at the state level to support your work movement around workforce development programs for CHWs. So thank you again. I wish you a lovely day, and thank you for your membership and collaboration. Take care.
Thank you, guys.
Bye,
Be safe,
everybody.
be
Thank you so
well,
much.
love on each other.
Take care.